Bear and Cheryl show. Hello, everyone. We're trying to decide which best side Bear has. I think it's this side. What do you think? That's his one side. That's his other side. I think we should go with this side. Yeah. Because, we all have a good side and not a good side. So, and that's a deep statement, isn't it? Well, anyway, as Canadian Thanksgiving is drawing nigh, I was thinking about the fact that I've had a lot of friends in the States that have mentioned to me, not as much to Bear, although he does get around in bear circles, And his favorite bear of all time, of course, is Bear in the Big Blue House. That's his idol that he would, really like to meet. But I'm like, you're just as good as him. But he's modest, like me. It's a trap, everybody. So anyway, I was thinking about Thanksgiving Day, and I thought, you know what? I would like to do a bit of a primer for those of you who don't understand really why are we celebrating Thanksgiving in such a different way than the way Americans do, in a sense. Although we do have similar ideas and similar stuff, it's not exactly the same. Because Thanksgiving is coming up on, I believe, the 8th. It is the second Monday in October. So I believe this year it falls on the 8th of October, and it's quite a big holiday. There's a day off of school for everybody. All the offices are closed, most of the government offices, of course, all the retail and restaurants and all of those things are still open, but libraries are closed, and most offices, doctors' offices and stuff like that. Some walk-in clinics, And so I thought, well, wouldn't this be an interesting idea to sort of talk about the origins of Canadian Thanksgiving? So what happened with Canadian Thanksgiving is that, of course, being a European settlement, as we were, we tend to follow the European ideal more than the American ideal, which a lot of people don't know. And being an ESL teacher for so many years, I really did have to explain to people the difference between Americans and Canadians and things like that, and how we tend to follow the Commonwealth rule a lot more than the American rule, because Americans kind of carved their own ideas out, which is good because they're a republic, right on. But we are part of the Commonwealth. So our ideas come from celebrations of harvest that happened in the New World, when of course people came to the New World. Before it was really Canada and the US, and giving thanks for all the abundance and all the hard work that the people have done to make a life for themselves, and to appreciate the Aboriginals that helped them as well along the way. And the very first Thanksgiving in North America took place in 1578 in Canada, where Martin Frobisher, an explorer from England, he was in search of the Northwest Passage, and he was very grateful to be alive and to be safe. So it actually, according to the internet, says that it was 43 years before the Pilgrims even landed in Plymouth Rock. Isn't that interesting? Yet another thing Canadians are better at. Yeah, it's not just hockey, So there's lots of wonderful stories, but they don't get talked about as much. There's even Canadian books I've certainly read, and being an ESL teacher, I've talked about Canadian Thanksgiving for a very long time. And so I wanted to give you a bit more of a rundown. It's a national holiday. It's been a national holiday since 1879. Back then it was November 6th. But the problem with that is we have Remembrance Day, which is on November the 11th. So they actually were falling too close to each other. So in 1957, the Parliament decided on the second Monday in October, so that it would be far enough away from Remembrance Day. And so it's always been a very sort of amazing harvest experience for me. Fall is one of my favorite seasons of the year. Being born at the end of August, I kind of see September and autumn as my season. very much. So it was always a very cool time because autumn was in full swing, and it's a harvest festival, so it was just lovely. You saw the leaves falling and all the other wonderful ideas around autumn, the beautiful colors and the beautiful sense of going to be rebirth, like going down and to come something else in spring. So it's just beautiful. And so I loved that idea. And it was also a precursor to Halloween, which was very cool, right? Because Halloween, of course, is on October 31st. So it was this cool sort of holiday that sort of ushered in Halloween, which was a big deal when you're little. It was such an exciting time. It wasn't like it is now, right? You know, now I don't know if I had kids, and I don't, as everyone knows. It makes me endlessly sad. Um, it was just fun. Like there wasn't really all the gore and horror and all that crap there is now, and people didn't take it to the extremes. It was a fun holiday. I mean, yes, sometimes people would do crazy things, but nothing like people do now. It was kind of a holiday really for kids, and it was fun. And maybe there were a few people that did other things, but there was no, culture of it like there is now today. So it was a very cool time. It was a really just such a wonderful, what were you going to dress up as? What were you going to be? And so, yeah. And I wanted to say something that was a very cool quote from the Parliament at the time in 1957. Thanksgiving would be a general day of thanksgiving to Almighty God for the bountiful harvest with which Canada has been blessed. So I think that is true, and I think that we need to also remember that all of us have been blessed with different things. And as I'm going through quite a challenge right now in my life, I look to that. I look to the fact that it's all for the good. It's all for better things. But on the upside too, because God is the biggest upside there is, there's a lot of cool things about Thanksgiving. Like the Charlie Brown Thanksgiving, we watched that too, so it's weird because we have so much American culture in Canada, but I don't imagine there's that many Canadian culture items in America. So we certainly watched that, but there was all kinds of other wonderful experiences and things. So like, how can you make the best stuffing? I love stuffing, and it was so funny because my Asian kids are like, what's stuffing? Stuffing is seriously amazing. And gravy and yams, which is funny. I didn't like when I was little, and now I love. I don't know what that is. Squash. I thought, what is squash? It's vile. Now I just adore squash. I eat it when it's not even Thanksgiving. And corn and pumpkin pie and apple pie and God, just wonderful caramels and all kinds of amazing times. It's just such a time of family and sharing and thanking God for getting us over, to borrow that phrase. So I just want to say to all my Canadian friends, happy Thanksgiving, and God bless us, and may the coming months bring ever more amazing experiences and joys. Happy Thanksgiving! Happy Thanksgiving! Happy Thanksgiving!